The preseason AP top 25 just dropped, and we'll tell you why it matters, what to watch for, and what stood out next.
You are Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. Your daily podcast on the future stars of the NBA. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. My name is Tyler Metcalf. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and fellow draft analyst for about the last decade, Tyler Rucker. Rucker, how we doing?
Metcalf, better now that I'm talking hoops with you. Magic is in the air. College basketball is in the air. NBA basketball is in the air. A lot of basketball. I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir?
Terrific. And, the AP graced us with what surely won't have lead to any overreactions and will be 1,000% correct with their first preseason poll of the year. We got teams with numbers ranked in order. Incredible. What a time to be alive. And we're going to run through all of it, kind of point out some notable omissions, some teams that may be a little too highly ranked in our eyes, some of the top teams to keep an eye on, and where they kind of currently reside, and some of the top prospects to look at. But before we dive into all that, I want to go a little philosophy based to take after what's Nathan and Maxwell have been doing a little bit so far this year, and just kind of pick your brain on, do these rankings and winning ever really matter to you when you're evaluating prospects?
I mean, it definitely matters at some point. I think if you're trying to evaluate a prospect or when you're scouting, it's like, okay, when it comes down to crunch time, I think that matters. It's like, how does a player perform when it's, pressure situation, close game, they're fighting and crawling to try to pull out a win. Like, do they turn it up another level, or does the performance struggle? But, I think I still going to like a prospect plenty enough to, if I'm looking at a guy and I really like him as a talent, I'm also going to weigh into like, hey, what's the situation? What's the roster construction around him? Is it too big of a mountain to climb by himself? But absolutely, I think at some point winning matters. Like Cooper Flagg, we loved last year. He had a couple times in the beginning of the year where he tripped it, had the opportunity to win the game, and everyone's like, oh, Cooper can't get it done. And we're like, okay, let's relax, guys. You all are still hoping your team tanks for him. So what about yourself, Metcalf? Do you feel the same?
Yeah, and the individual team ranking doesn't really matter to me,
right?
At the end of the day, like if a team finishes 4 versus unranked, it's probably not going to skew my view of a prospect all that much, unless in totality and in the bigger picture they're a leading cause for why that team isn't ranked, and not just through like pure play or lack of production or anything, because that shows out on its own. And if that's the case anyways, then the guy's going to fall regardless. But if during those crunch time situations, if during those big time matchups where they do have a chance to get a big win, or kind of climb the rankings by stringing together a bunch of wins in a row and extending a winning streak or something, and they're just kind of complacent out there, and they're just out there getting their own numbers, going through the motions, and just looking to get to the draft and get to the off season, then it's like, oh, this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth, because it's like, all right, well, the numbers look kind of good, and like the highlight tape looks good, the efficiency numbers look good, but when you're out there, one, I kind of forget you're out there because you're just going through the motions, and that kind of stuff can always leave me a little hesitant and a little skeptical of like, all right, what's the actual ceiling with this guy, and is there the fire and determination there to be great, or is he just going to be an okay basketball player?
Yeah, I think spot on with what you put is he the reason why they're struggling to win? And a lot of these prospects, the biggest thing is I want to see in March. That's when it really weighs something to me, because I know what these kids are like. Hey, they want to get to the March Madness, and the spotlights are the biggest, and they know scouts are in the building, and they know, hey, it's winter go home, basically. I think that's when I start weighing it a little bit more, because you're going to quickly understand that the kids understand the magnitude of the situation and how much it's going to weigh. Some crumble, some step up and really show you something where you're like, whoa, look at this. Like, I liked him before, but he took his game to another level. He rose to the occasion to be there for his team and put on a show. So early in the year, especially, I'm so patient about this stuff, because and I'm almost too patient, because this is the first couple of games these guys are going to play at a new competition level. And a lot of these guys are going to play some tune-up games, we like to say, where it's like they're waiting to get to the big time matchups. I think that the schedule's changed a little this year, which we love to see, but some teams are going to be like, okay, it's going to take them a couple of weeks before they play a big time challenge. And that's why I'm like, hey, let me give me a couple months, check-ins, progress reports. Let's see how they're working. And then when it gets to March, I'm like, all right, now show me something. Like, you had the whole year to kind of perfect your craft. That's where I get to.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for you here, but you're also not saying it's like, oh, tournament time, these are the games that only matter. It's a whole picture.
Yes.
But I like, for me personally, especially like with the mid-major guys who end up making the tournament and they're the underdogs and they're going up against a blue blood. It's like, all right, how do you react?
Right.
What are the nerves looking like? Like Bennett Sturts last year looked the exact same when they were going up against big time teams as he did when they were playing conference games with Drake. John Morant that one year, I mean, had one of the most incredible prospect March Madness games of recent years, where he
Steph
just
Curry with Davidson.
dominated
Yep.
Marquette. Exactly. Where it's like, all right, nope, this dude's legit. It's like, yeah, he's going up against competition where it's like, I don't know. But then it's like, oh, the big boys are on the court. He's unfazed and he's taking it up to another level. And when guys can do that, and even in the regular season, I think we get some of these occasional matchups too, where we get treated to some of these teams, these blue bloods playing a quote unquote tune-up game, but that tune-up game might have maybe one or two guys on there where it's like, oh no, this guy he's kind of intriguing, and then we see him take their game to a whole new level. I like one that stands out last year. He ended up tailing off for most of the year, but like Money Williams with Montana against Tennessee put up over, like, he had like 35 in that game. So it's always fun to kind of gauge. It's like, all right, how much do you recognize the situation you're in, and are you willing and capable of taking your game to that next level?
Completely. I think you said that perfectly. It's why I always get excited about March Madness, is because if you like a prospect that is at a lower level, they're going to be all of a sudden challenged a little bit. And you're like, hey, now I get to quiet all the people that say he's playing against nobody. If this guy puts on a show, you get to be like, well, look, he's done it against legit competition now. So a little bit of it all matters. I think, also winning gets you to those tougher opponents. So I balance a little bit of everything. I don't overreact if I'm looking at a situation and I'm like, okay, this one looks a little rough for me. I don't like the fit from the beginning, so I'm not going to harshly, judge this prospect. Markel Fultz at Washington, Jaden McDaniels at Washington. I guess this is the Washington Huskies hour, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's dive into the rankings here, and kind of take a look at what stood out, what we liked, top teams to keep an eye on right after a quick break. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. So, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Let's dive into the rankings here. We're not going team by team. We're through the whole top 25. But just for reference, top 5 right now entering the season: I think pretty solid. Purdue at 1, Houston at 2, Florida at 3, UConn at 4, St. John's at 5. When you're looking through this whole top 25, who are just some of the big time teams and prospects that kind of jump off immediately for you?
I mean, it's amazing every year. I feel like I'm just like, well, where's Duke? Every year, I swear. I'm like, if you don't see Duke in the top 3, you're like, well, where's Duke? And this year, Cam Boozer at Duke, Darren Peterson at Kansas, and AJ DeMonsa at BYU. Like, that's immediately you're like, hey, where are they ranked?
Yeah.
So I think that was I'm trying to say, okay, where are all the big boys ranked? Who's going to be having a little extra pep in their step? So I saw Duke at 6 and BYU at 8 kind of stood out to me right away. Any first glances for you?
I mean, Florida. It almost I know they're only at 3, but it kind of feels too low. Like these guys just won the national title. I know they lost Walter Clayton, but they're still really
thought
good.
It was a slap in the face a little bit. I thought Gator fans should be foaming at the mouth. I was like 3.
Their entire front court's returning. They brought in 2 of the top transfer guards in Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee. I think they're going to be awesome.
I think they might be better than last year.
Yeah.
And I love Walter Clayton.
Yeah.
But like that was the first thing that stood out to me is, whenever you ever see a post and you're like, hey, is this one fake? When I saw Purdue at 1, I was like, is this one fake? And no slander to Purdue fans.
Purdue at 1, I can understand. I get it. Houston, I think is going to be really good, but I was like,
But Florida just went on just such an impressive run and kind of like buzzsawed through some really tough teams. And then, like you said, the whole team's basically coming back. They have awesome depth, plus some really good, incoming pieces. Not saying, Xavier Lee and Boogie Fland. I'm saying like they have some good young talent on that bench that could blossom and become like nice pieces. But Boogie and Xavier Lee should be a fantastic backcourt just for the rest of this team. Like they should be great for Alex Condon and Thomas Hawk. Just seeing them at 3, I was like, wow. All right. And that coaching staff was probably doing fist pumps at Florida. Like, there's the bulletin board all year. Thank you, AP, for just foaming up our boys. So I don't know. And then at 2 at Houston, I'm like, can I really argue with that? Because it's Houston.
Right. It's like I don't have a major gripe with it because they're going to be good. We know they're going to be one of the best coached teams and defenses in the country. And they're probably going to finish as a top 5 team like they always do. But I was just like, I think I would have given the reigning national champs who returned like 4 7-footers the benefit of the doubt here. But that's just me.
Completely agree. Who else for you?
I was really, really pleasantly surprised with where they put Louisville at 11. I think Louisville's going to be really good. Obviously, Ryan Conwell transferring in from Xavier, Adrian Woolley transferring in, Michael Brown looks like one of the best, if not the best, point guards in the 2026 draft. Their backcourt's going to be nasty, and then really intrigued when Keyshawn Pryor gets healthy and is able to return to the court after tearing his ACL last year. So I think Louisville's going to be solid. It wouldn't shock me if they have like an early kind of dip and then before they kind of find their groove in December or something and like they fall a little bit in the standings and then really get going during conference play. But I thought that was I was pretty encouraged with them at 11.
So if I say something bad about Kentucky and that I like Louisville, that means I'm like Kentucky's number 1 enemy, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to do that. It's crazy because I like 8, 9, 10, and 11 a lot. 8's BYU, 9's Kentucky, 10 Texas Tech, 11 Louisville. Really like Louisville. Really excited to watch them this year. You could make an argument that those 4 teams, like a little bit of a hot take, those 4 teams could all have a lottery pick.
Read them off. Who?
BYU with AJ DeMonsa.
Whoa, hot take.
Yeah, hot take there. Kentucky, Jaden Quaintance, big man. 10, I'm stretching a little bit, but Christian Anderson. And then 11 with Louisville with Michael Brown. So like, that's how fun this draft class is. Like, looking at this AP board, I'm like, there's draft prospects everywhere in this thing. So I'm with you. Louisville, very talented backcourt this year. I'm excited to watch Ryan Conwell and Adrian Woolley, but Michael Brown's going to steal the show. But
give me your reaction. What was your reaction to Arizona at 13? You're an Arizona fan for those just tuning in, but so surprised, worth it, perfect spot, too low, too high.
A little bit of both. I didn't feel like it was too low. I felt like it was a good spot, and I was kind of like, all right, like I could have seen 15. I could, but I was like 13 seems good. My problem was when I saw 12.
We'll get to that next segment.
Okay,
we'll get to the negatives. We're staying positive.
Okay. Arizona's just you kind of if you follow the Wildcats closely, like you kind of see this is going to be a little bit of a weird shift from what Tommy Lloyd usually has. He usually has some deep teams. Last year we saw that everyone in the world was like, play Carter Bryant, and it's like they have vets, they have guys that freshmen have to earn minutes over. This year you quickly find out like they're gonna have to play these young kids. They're going to, with Koa Pete, Dwayne Aristode, and Braden Burries, like they're gonna have to play them. So I think 13 you could argue and be like, hey, they're a little low because it's unproven. I get it, but we could look back and be like, man, that was high because look at these freshmen just tearing it up. I don't know. What did you think?
I thought it was a little high. I was kind of thinking there'd be more like 18, 19. Kind of like.
Oh, see, my low and high is opposite of you. So I say low is closer to 1.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Right. Late teens is kind of what I was anticipating. Not because I think they're bad or anything, just because they're, like you said, they're young. Honestly,
I could have seen them swapped with Kansas.
Yeah.
Or someone in that, like, the problem is you get down to the lower one, you're like, well, who's jumping up there? So for everyone listening,
I think if you swap them Tennessee, and
Iowa State would have made sense to me swapping those because Iowa State's got some vets coming back. Yeah. That would have made sense. 13 at first, I was kind of like, better than what I thought.
I think that's if things kind of go how we hope they will. I think that's kind of the range that they will end up in, kind of vying for that one of those like 2 or 3 seeds in the tournament.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, that's what's like rapid reaction that's suggesting they're a 3 seed. That sounds about right. If they're a 3 or 4 seed, I think Arizona fans would be very happy until they lose in the first round.
That everyone stays healthy. Aristode progresses and contributes like we think he will. Koa Pete impacts the game, turns into a two-way guy. Braden Burries kind of takes over as a really dominant guard. Why not?
The Big 12 is going to be such a juggernaut this year. If Arizona's a 3 seed, that is an incredible year from Tommy Lloyd and company. Yeah. Like, it is incredible to see. Like, I've been planning out trying to go see some of their games in person, and you see some of the schedules, the stretches they have, and you're like, good luck, goodness. Like, have fun with that. It's just going to be awesome. But what else? Hit me with it.
Well, unfortunately, not all of our reactions are positive to this ranking, and we'll get into some of our questions right after this. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, which is exciting, but getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe your serveware needs a refresh, or the guest room could use new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home holiday ready. From Christmas trees and wreaths to bedding, cookware, and outdoor inflatables, it's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. The delivery is fast and free, which was a lifesaver during the busy time of the year. Get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Basketball season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout, it's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Gametime comes in. The app that gives you fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets, fast, easy, and stress-free. I love that what you see is what you pay. No hidden fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. So for all the good, the AP overall pretty solid. And then they go and have the gall to put UCLA at 12. What are we doing? What is this?
Am I missing something? Or is the AP as big? I thought this was impossible, Bort. Is the AP a bigger Donovan Dent fan than I am?
I love Donovan Dent. He's not that good.
This one shocked me, Metcalf. I don't really understand this one. I mean, I think you're just really banking on this team taking a big leap with a couple players, but it's like, what, you thought Donovan Dent was the last piece of them making a title run? I mean, what I'm being serious with you. Like, what is devil's advocate like us saying the other side for this?
Eric Daly Jr. takes another big jump.
Who I like.
Xavier Booker gets unleashed and kind of has the shackles that he experienced at Michigan State taken off, but I don't see Mick Cronin being the guy that does that.
Yeah, Mick's not the guy.
Tyler Bilodeau looks like Big Ten Player of the Year. I honestly don't know, and
I like a lot of their guys. It's just they need like a superstar to get me in. You know what I'm trying to say? Like Donovan Dent needs also a unreal running mate. Like if they had Darren Peterson, Donovan Dent, and that roster, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
very, very in.
Yeah,
but that's not the case. So it's like, well, you just expecting Dent to be National Player of the Year? 12 just made no sense to me. I was like, what are we talking about with UCLA?
No, if they would have had him at like 23, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. But like, yeah, again, these rankings don't really mean anything. But they're fun to talk
they're
about.
They're fun to overreact about. Yeah, because we get something to kill the time until
because I don't understand this at all.
It's also like, well, I would have, like, who would you have put in front of them? So like 11's Louisville,
I would have put
UCLA.
Illinois ahead of them. I would have put Tennessee. I would have put Kansas.
If you had to swap one team,
I would have definitely put Creighton. Creighton is way too low at 23.
Creighton feels criminally low.
Creighton is so good.
So for everyone
has
like
legit NBA
Creighton's at 23
talent.
Creighton's like, if you're a smart person, you would be investing in Creighton basketball this year because they have shooters for their shooters and they have size and it's going to be very fun. They could just go berserk one game and put up like 120. I swear, I'm convinced of it. But
like they have multiple guys who could very easily play in the NBA next or in the future. And Josh Dix, Owen Freeman, Hudson Greer, Blake Harper, Jackson McAndrew. Like they got big time, like legit talent. And not saying anyone on UCLA isn't ever going to make the NBA. I like Donovan Dent a lot. I love the way that Eric Daly has grown as a player since high school. But I think it's night and day in terms of talent between these two teams.
I mean, 12 to 15 is UCLA, Arizona, Arkansas, Alabama. I thought Arkansas and Alabama should have been ahead of UCLA.
See, I was honestly surprised Alabama's that high.
Really?
Yeah. I like a lot of pieces on their team. I like LeBaron Philon a lot.
Front court depth.
Love Lendon Jemison. They have no size.
Yep.
Like they're gonna get bullied a lot. And, Noah Williamson transferring in from Bucknell is a 7-footer, but he's kind of there, like, and it's him and Collins. I'm not even going to bother trying to butcher the last name. Apologies, but, but he's a freshman. So it's like they got two guys. They have two bigs. So I was a little surprised. They'll still probably be good because there'll be a lot of nights where they just run teams out of the gym
Right.
with Holloway, Philon, Jemison, Taylor Bowen is an interesting transfer in. But yeah, my bigger concern with them was, can they just withstand the season?
Yeah. I mean, you get at every team on here, just, I know we're just going UCLA, but you look at every team and I was just like, man, like you could have made an argument for them ahead. You could have made an argument for them ahead. Like I think Iowa State should be a little pissed at 16. I think Kansas will be motivated at 19. Although, like, I kind of get that one because the roster has questions.
Yeah.
Yes, you have Darren Peterson, but we're very like, what is this going to look like? Yeah, you have a Ferrari in the garage, but everything else needs a new motor, looks like. And I like Kansas. I think they have some sleepers, but they're just
a couple long-term guys, and like Samus Calderon, Cole Rosario, I like a lot.
Rosario, yep.
But kind of the inverse of Alabama. It's like, all right, who's playing point? And I'm guessing Darren is going to be playing a lot of point. But I still think he's more of that 2-guard role in an ideal setting. But yeah, it's funky.
Any other teams besides the UCLA? Was there anything else that just kind of surprised you or stood out?
I don't get St. John's at 5.
I don't get it at all, and I really liked St. John's.
I think they'll be a lot of fun to watch. They're going to be a blast to watch.
St. John's felt like a team that should have been at like 12th.
Yeah,
and I think everyone's getting really hyped on that transfer. I just am like, 5 is a really big number for a preseason team.
I worry about their point guard play, and I worry about their defense. I think they're going to be the exact opposite of the team they were last year.
Yeah, like I have so many questions with St. John's. That one was a big one. Like Florida at 3, and then I saw St. John's at 5, and I was like, what? Whoa, wait, hey, hold on a second. And like, hey, I know you probably don't want to go chalk with like Purdue, Houston, Florida, UConn, Duke, but like also,
why not?
Duke has a better roster.
I think Duke has a better roster than UConn.
I do too. I like UConn's team a lot.
I like
this
UConn
year.
a lot.
I like them a lot better last year. And
they look good in their scrimmage.
Yes, they did.
Boston College that I broke down over on the No Ceilings YouTube channel. Go check it out.
They're going to be good, Metcalf. Yeah. I like them. They look like they are balanced this year. They look like they have the right pieces. Braylon Mullins is going to shock some people.
He's going to be a dude. Real quick, just in the others, let's end on a high note. In the others receiving votes section, were there any teams that you think are going to finish way higher than where they kind of are in terms of preseason? The two that really jumped out to me, NC State, who came in at 26. So it's right on the fringe, only like 3 votes behind North Carolina at 25. I think they're going to be really good. And then I think Washington is a sneaky team to really keep an eye on with Wesley Yates transferring in, Hans Steinbeck coming in, JJ Mandequit. I think, I'm not sure about his pro potential necessarily, but I think he's going to be an awesome college point guard. And I think they're going to make a lot more sense just as a team, and year 2 of Zoom Diallo.
I really like NC State. I think they'll get up there pretty quick. And then I think Washington's a sleeper that everyone needs to pay attention to. Like I completely agree with you.
Okay.
Really good transfer class, really good talented pieces, as you just pointed out. But like those are not, it's not just like, oh, they got good transfers. It's a good balance. Like they got a really talented big.
They're transfers that make sense, not just transfers to fill out a roster.
Right. They make strategic sense, and they should work very, very well. So I think those two, everybody else just seems like they got some questions. Like I like Iowa, but I don't think it's going to be one that, like, Iowa's going to shock the world and be like 10th. I don't know. San Diego State. Wow, getting that many votes, huh?
Yeah, look at that.
All right, Bird fans.
Well, this was blessed as always. We'll be back next week with 2 episodes. Make sure to go check out Maxwell and Nathan's episode. They're talking about some rookie NBA stuff, Houston's point guard dilemma. Really enjoying those episodes that they've been doing, and Corey and Albert are continuing to break down a bunch of players individually, really in-depth, informative, entertaining scouting reports from those guys as well. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. Thank you for making Locked On NBA Draft with No Ceilings your first listen every day. For your second listen, go find Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast, giving you daily tips and helping you win your league, all while making you a smarter NBA fan. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every